Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. Under center, it will be the 6'3" quarterback from Alabama, A.J. McCarron.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Now the first carry for Marshawn Lynch. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
McCarron to throw on second down. Smith catches left side. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
No, Jack, Patriot!
On the ground, this is Jalen Richard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Offside, defense.
And that's about the easiest decline call you'll ever have right there.
Well, it leads me to one of my pet peeves, and maybe peeves is too strong of a word, but if you're going to jump off sides, finish the play. Make sure the play ends. Don't jump off sides and stop, because you see the net result here. If you go ahead and finish the play, you don't give up that type of yardage.
McCarron now on first down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I think the Raiders are going to be able to hold on to it, yes.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, the teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that's going to make it third down and 10.
It looks like they caught him off guard on second and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters and doing things opposite the grain, and that worked very well for him. Picked up really nice yardage, but they still have a lot of work to do on third down.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And now here comes Kansas City. And a flag out right away, and I believe our day will begin with a 1st and 15.
False start, offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. A quick hitter to Sherman, the fullback. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Gary and Conley, the one to bring him down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. Quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
So they're challenging the spot. If you're a coach, you hesitate to throw the flag anytime it's a spot discernment.
You certainly do, because you feel like that's not one you're likely to win, and you may need that challenge flag for later in the game.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
Yeah, now you've got options on 2nd down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Give him 3 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully, that doesn't talk About having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
Let's go.
On 1st and 10, here's A.J. McCarron. And incomplete on the deep ball. He was trying to get it to Seth Roberts. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach and incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Leopard. Leopard.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Returnable for Thomas. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Play fake here on 1st down. Complete to the tight end, Jason Morrow. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very solid gain of 27.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner, toughness in the pocket, strong and stout. But let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Tahir Whitehead coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if we're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
He's got the hook up with Conley. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost himself some yardage there.
Toward the sideline, it's complete. An athletic grab, but still well short of the first. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin as the Chiefs in possession of the football as we begin the 2nd quarter. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And one thing we do know, they will be a part of the playoffs come January. They've clinched the AFC West right now. You know, when you're in that 3 or 4 slot as they are, you have to host the first round. You'd love to be the 1 or 2, but at least you get to play at home if you're in one of those slots.
Yeah, they're happy to be in the playoffs, and as you noted, the downside is, okay, you didn't get one of the top 2 seeds, so you don't get the bye week. But for them, okay, the next best thing is hosting in the wild card round and then taking it from there. So they'll take that, and I think their fans will celebrate too. You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make the play on the football.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Now here's McCarron on 3rd. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Running for it. Here's Lynch. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And the Chiefs' defense comes up with a stop.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created a push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offense, and he caught it up. But it looks like the Chiefs are going to get it back. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
It was Maurice Hurst who got him down.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
Here's Luck. And able to find Conley. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him.
And this is caught by Watkins. Touchdown, Kansas City. Sammy Watkins, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Chiefs are in for 6. So a one-handed grab in the end zone. Nothing much more rewarding than that for a guy catching it.
Not at all. And with what we just saw there, that type of a one-handed catch, what's next? Maybe they go up and almost Velcro it with their jersey in the ball. That's about all that's left. That play, simply spectacular.
So a one-handed grab in the end zone, not much more impressive than that. Now A.J. McCarron and the offense heading back onto the field. They've been faced with a tough test today here. Crowd's been really good. They're struggling. He's struggling. We'll see if they can pick things up.
And the crowd has had an impact, and they feel good about that because he's not playing very well. Not getting the ball to the right places, not doing things he normally does. He's got to find a way to turn it around against this hostile group.
Yeah, because on the road, don't you look to your quarterback a lot?
You have to, because you certainly can't look to the crowd to help you. They're there to be against you, so your quarterback has to lead you. And the best way he can do it is to play well.
Eluding the pressure right, and lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Detroit! Detroit! Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
McCarron again here on 2nd and 10. Lets it go for Nelson. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. The Raiders on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Now here's McCarron again. And that will be incomplete as well. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now we see Sammy Watkins getting ready to go again on offense. Unless he has a Julio Jones-type 300-yard game in him that Julio did against the Panthers in 2016, probably not going to reach 1,000, but still pretty good year.
I think you're right. It's a pretty good year for him, but let's face it, every receiver's dream is to have a game like Julio Jones had against the Carolina Panthers. It's 300 yards on the nose, and it didn't matter what coverage they sent his way. He solved it each and every time. Maybe our guy can get that way in this ballgame. Let's see.
Here's West. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 1:59 to go in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. On first down, Luck. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And a nice gain of 21 yards. A first trip to the red zone for KC. 1st and 10 at the 19. From the red zone now, Luck. And over the middle here, Amaro. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. To the air again, Luck. His pass caught at the 4. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing again is Luck. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete. Sammy Watkins, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 4.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss under review on one like that very often.
So the ref makes a call. No touchdown there. Wipe it off the board. Now Luck on 3rd and goal. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Butker able to put this one through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Forced out to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
A.J. McCarron looking to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Mitchell. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. So we've come upon halftime. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the... Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. On 2nd down, here's Locke. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
On 2nd and 10, Locke. Caught here by Conley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Luck now 13 of 15 passing. That's good for 87%. It's 1st and 10. Luck throwing again. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Marquell Lee not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
They need a stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop to get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Luck now to throw. Amaro's got it, left side. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And out across midfield down to the 45. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Got an open man. It's Aitman. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. McCarron will look to throw on 3rd and 2. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So a decent drive there to start the 3rd quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel that.
And this throw will be intercepted. Picked up by Garyon Conley. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. The pass rush specialist, Dee Ford, in on the stop.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
No. Check. Patriot.
Working from the gun here, McCarron. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller, and they will take over at the 26-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On second down, Williams. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe it'll eventually reward them.
Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that's caught inside the 30. And that one results in 35 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. First down, the run with Lynch. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24. They're going to hurry back to the line now. And they'll go play action with McCarron. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I think the Raiders are going to be able to hold on to it, yes. But call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down. We're back now in KC. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the 4th. Now McCarron, he's got to have this one. Connects it to Roberts, right side. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down of this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? I'll get radio silence back.
And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Locke. Throw left side complete. That's Hill. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Hurry up, here we go.
Throwing on first. Here's McCarron. That is taken down. A Chiefs sack. And quickly they get to the line. On second down, here's McCarron. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Back-to-back sacks have this place in a frenzy as they line up again 3rd and long now. On 3rd and long, it's McCarron. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Andrew Luck and company heading back onto the field. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now whistles and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That's going to be their 2nd. They'll be left with 1 more plus the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Out of the gun. Luck. Complete to Amaro on the right side. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And a timeout here. Timeout taken. Whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
McCarron to throw on 2nd down. Roberts got it. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. From the gun, it's McCarron. The open man is Smith. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. Shotgun snap from McCarron. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. 7 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he gets it down to the 32. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. McCarron on 1st down. Over the middle to Smith. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone!
McCarron now on 1st down. Dancing to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Back to throw. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. A.J. McCarron, his first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders, they're within an extra point of tying this thing up. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the posts, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime.
Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all.
Plus, it's been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish.
You obviously don't have a flight to catch.
Tomorrow. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And the Chiefs now getting set to go. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive. Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Damian Williams, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chiefs have broken our tie as they take the lead.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right? Yeah,
you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
A.J. McCarron on his way back out there. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Over!
He's back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete.
Offside, defense.
So offside's the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out. But all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. Still going. A big play that time for the Raiders. 47 yards. So they still need a touchdown, but that goes a big way in helping. They were almost giving up for dead that run, and we still got a ball game here.
Yeah, hope is still alive, isn't it? No way does anyone run to the exits right now. Let's see how this thing finishes.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And That play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw. Fighting to stay, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Back to throw. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime. So getting the big touchdown they needed late in the 4th. Now what do? You conservative and just tie it up?
No, I think you put your practice into game situation. Go as fast as possible. You already have your play call ready to go. Go for 2 and decide it right now.
So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now Locke. Fighting through pressure. He's got a man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Everything right now resting on the right foot of Harrison Butker. This from long, very long range. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. You talk about a big kick under pressure in the 4th quarter. I mean, that wasn't like a 33-yarder. That was long distance.
Not only does it show the faith that they have in him, but also remember, if they'd missed that one, they're giving up the ball near midfield, so they had to be very confident that he was going to put that one through the post.
Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney.
McCarron with one final try. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Chiefs, the win means they'll finish in double digits at 10-6. And that is maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but a better than average season nonetheless. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, despite the loss here, they're going to wind up with a very good 11-5 overall mark. And as division champs, they will host a playoff game next week in the wild card round. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Somebody call for the queen.
I never anybody, but I got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back, carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the 100, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning, skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning, I had me a by the morning, I had me some breaks by the morning, I had a sis by the morning, I got on a meat on the morning, the rats keep me up on the podium, I had a in my shoulder, you got a vision, you got this vision, Pacific.